the name of Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Today we have a lesson for second secondary grade, first semester English subject, Unit 2, Reading, Mega Goal 3 book. Today we will read about crime puzzles, and we will identify the meaning of burglary and murder. What mystery or crime stories have you read? Have you read any mystery or crime stories, like stories written by Agatha Christie? Okay, talk about the characters and the story. Tell us about the stories that you have read about. Are they enjoyable? Are they boring? Do you like this kind of stories or not? Okay, what is the meaning of detective? What is the meaning of detective? A detective is a person. He is a person who is trying to find the criminals. This picture is a picture of detective. Do you any detective? One of the most famous detectives in cartoon, his name is Conan. Conan is detective. What does crime puzzles mean? Now, we will read and then we will understand the meaning of crime puzzles.
Crime puzzles. The case of the stolen jewels. Detective Combs was at the coffee shop around the corner when he learned that Jones's jewelry had been broken into. He arrived at the scene of the burglary in moments.
So now we know that we have a detective. His name is Combs, and here also we have a crime, which is a jewelry center is broken, or this was or had been broken. Let's continue the story.
Mr. Jones, the owner of the store, explained what had happened. I arrived this morning to open up the shop. As I walked up to my store, I noticed a lot of broken glass on the pavement. I looked up and realized that the display window had been broken. Combs looked out the broken window at the sidewalk, littered with glass. Mr. Jones continued. Then I saw that all of the jewelry from the display window was gone. The doors were still locked, so this must be where the burglar broke in. Why didn't the alarm go off? Asked Combs. It's a strange coincidence, said Mr. Jones. I removed our old alarm system yesterday and made an appointment to have a new one installed today. Combs looked around at the empty jewelry cases. I assume your jewelry was insured? Of course, said Mr. Jones. Thank goodness for that. Combs nodded and said, Mr. Jones, I believe there was a crime indeed, and it was committed by you. What crime does Combs suspect Mr. Jones of committing? Why?
So now we have a question. He said, the detective said, I believe that there was a crime and it was committed by you. So the question, what crime does the Combs suspect Mr. Jones of committing and why? We will have some questions and continue to the other story. Where was the detective Combs when he knew that Jones' jewelry had been broken into? Try to remember. He was at the coffee shop. So he was at the coffee shop. Is that clear? This is the answer. The second question: what does burglary mean? Think about the meaning of this word. What does burglary mean? If you said it is illegal entry of building with intent to commit a crime, especially theft, or if you said any other words for this meaning, so you've done. This is the meaning of the word burglary. Now we have the other text to read. Let's read together.
The case of the bowling alley murder. The Center Street bowling alley, the oldest bowling alley in the city, closed at midnight. At 4 a.m., the janitor found a terrible sight. A man with a knife in his back lying in one of the lanes. Detective Combs quickly arrived at the scene with a swarm of police officers.
Now, what's the meaning of bowling alley? Do you know bowling? These things are for bowling. Bowling alley. So, we have Center Street bowling alley, and this is the oldest bowling alley in the city. So we have a crime in this center. Let's continue.
Anybody know the victim? Asked Combs. I do, said one of the officers. That's Bob Reynolds. He's running for councilman. He and Mike Jenner have been having a bitter campaign battle. Perhaps we should pay Mr. Jenner a visit, said Combs. Before leaving the bowling alley, Combs took his cell phone out of his pocket and left it behind. On arriving at Mike Jenner's house, Combs told Jenner, I have some grim news. Bob Reynolds has been murdered. No, I can't believe it, cried Jenner.
So the detective put his cell phone in the place of the crime. Then he went to Bob Reynolds to ask him about the crime.
We'd like to speak with you about the murder, but first I need to get back to the police station to file the report. Can you meet me at the station? Of course. I'll help in any way I can. I'll give you a call. Combs patted his pocket. Uh-oh. I must have left my cell phone at the bowling alley.
So the detective told the one he suspected that he left his cell phone there, or he forgot his cell phone at the bowling alley.
Would you mind picking it up and bringing it with you to the station? Jenner looked confused, but said, Sure, I'll do anything to help with the investigation. Later that day, Jenner brought Combs' cell phone to the station. He was arrested and charged with murder. Why?
How did the detective knew that Jenner is the criminal? Why did he arrest him? Think about this question.
Answers. The case of the stolen jewels. Detective Combs suspects that Mr. Jones took the jewelry himself and pretended that there had been a burglary so he could collect insurance money. The broken window is Combs's clue. If someone had broken into the store, the broken glass should have been on the inside of the shop. Since it was outside the shop, the window must have been broken from inside. The case of the bowling alley murder. Detective Combs never told Mr. Jenner in which bowling alley the murder took place. Yet Mr. Jenner knew which bowling alley to go to for Combs's phone. Mr. Jenner must have known where the murder took place, because he was there.
Now, what does the murder mean? what does the murder mean? Here, murder means the killing of another person without justification or excuse. So it is a killing of other person. In your opinion, how did this crime happen? Think about this crime. How did it happen? Here the answer. Detective Columns never told Mr. Jenner in which bowling alley the murder took place. Yet Mr. Jenner knew which bowling alley to go to for Columns' phone. Mr. Jenner must have known where the murder took place because he was there. Now, we have some questions. I want you to answer it either true or false and tell me why, or tell me what is the correct answer. Detective Collins was at the police station when he heard about the robbery. This is easy. He was at the police station. Excellent. If you said false, that means that you are with me from the beginning. So we said what? He was at the coffee shop. Number 2, the broken glass was inside the store. Actually, it is not. It was outside the sidewalk. Okay, the third question, the Center Street bowling alley is the only bowling alley in the city. What did they say? In the story, they said the oldest bowling alley center. So is it the only one? No, because saying the oldest, it means or implies there are others. So number 4, Mike Jenner was Bob Robinson's friend. Are they friends? Actually, they are not. They are what? They were having a better competition battle. So they were having a battle. Number 5, Collins left his cell phone at the bowling alley on purpose. He meant it. Did he meant it or he forgot it? Excellent. If you say true, you're doing okay. Okay, now today we learned the crime puzzles. We understood what's the meaning of crime puzzles, and we read about crime puzzles. We have 2 stories, the case of the stolen jewels and the case of bowling alley murder. Then we answered the questions. Here are the references, and for more information you can go to these sites or call these phones. Thank you for listening. See you later. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.